It's nice to be back in Cedar Falls. It's even more welcoming when there's no snow on the field and we can get out there today and start getting some things ready for moving back out there permanently for the spring. But we had a nice long road trip, and there was a lot of really good things that we saw from it. And I think probably one of the biggest things is we played toe to toe with some really good competition. Um, didn't waver a bit, and honestly, from looking at the numbers and watching some of those games again, there's just a lot of things we can still improve on, and I think there's a lot more that we've got to go with this team. We still haven't figured out some roles. Still trying to get those established, and really still trying to get some of our everyday players tuned in. I think they're not where they need to be yet, and where they are capable of being, and where they will be hopefully here after another week of pre-conference games. But a lot of good things. I would say the only disappointment that I've had so far, there's been 3 games that we've played this year where we just haven't showed up and played at all. And I would say the first one was Western Illinois, the opening weekend in the Dome tournament, and then the last day of the Alabama weekend against Arizona and South Alabama. And I would say it's not disappointing to me, the loss. It's how we played. We played stellar defense, and then we had 4 errors in one game. That to me is we just got to do a better job of being ready to play. That's an effort thing, and we've seen us be able to do it consistently. So looking forward to getting back at that. It doesn't get any easier. 2 games with Arkansas, Nebraska, South Alabama again, who they took one from Alabama at home last weekend. They're a really good team. We were able to beat them down at Alabama. Darren Lampert got into a ball against one of the better pitchers that we've seen and hit a 3-run homer, and we were able to really pitch well and play good defense and get that one from them. So looking forward to seeing a team that we've played, but also get some other high-level competition that we'll see down in Arkansas. Any questions?
Looking at this might be an oversimplification. The one game you won, 0 errors, 8 errors in the 3 losses from what I saw there. Is that an oversimplification?
No, I think we gave really good teams extra outs and extra opportunities, and you can't do that. You're putting yourself in a really bad spot. The games that we've played really well, we've gotten great pitching and great defense. I wouldn't say that we've necessarily ever had a game so far where it's been great offense. It just hasn't been there yet. For whatever reason, it's not there yet. We haven't done a good job of hitting with 2 strikes. That's one of the reasons. But we've chased some pitches that we normally wouldn't chase. So I feel like we're still settling into taking the process that we practice all the time to the field from an offensive standpoint. But every game that we've had good pitching and good defense, we've been right where we needed to be and won some of those games against really good teams. For us to beat Maddie Penta from Auburn, there's not going to be very many teams in the country that do that this year. Like, there's just not. I mean, that kid is special. She's the best one I've seen with my own eyes on the field. 69 to 72, 73. Like, you just don't see that very often. And then she comes back at you with unbelievable spin and then a changeup that's at 63, which is what you normally see as the high velocity. It's just unbelievable. I was really happy with our kids and how they battled. I mean, we're not going to have a ton of success against that kid, but we took advantage of every opportunity that we could in that game offensively and really did a good job of adjusting to what you don't see very often. So,
when you mentioned that your best games have included pitching and defense and your offense hasn't come around yet, what's that like in terms of lineup construction? Because I'm sure you're thinking I could put player A in here, maybe that helps the offense. But if I put player B in here, that's been the recipe so far because they're going to help our defense.
yeah, it's been something that we've been fiddling with, I would say, but there's just not a whole lot that we're going to do from a shuffling standpoint, because I still feel like, I was a player. I know how it feels when you know you're going to show up to the game and you're going to play, and you know exactly where you're going to be. There's some comfort in that, whether you're having good at bats or not. That you've proved yourself that we're not going to move. It's not going to be a guessing game for our players every day. Yeah, there's going to be a few that are battling it out. They're platooning. They're getting their opportunities. And once we're able to establish a role, we'll define it even more clearly to them. But, I think there's not a whole lot of adjusting that we can do. Honestly, the biggest thing is us. We need to coach our kids up better and get them ready to go and be ready to compete in those situations. We need to do some things from a practice standpoint, I think, to prepare them a little bit better. But the overall, I guess, answer is that we need our players need to go out there and compete and play hard and produce, and that's just, we haven't done that yet. And as a group, like, it's been good. We've seen some individuals step up at different times, but we've still relied too much on 3 or 4 people, and we'll figure it out though. It's a good group. I know we're gonna figure some things out, and especially when we get back at home, I think that's gonna be it always is. It's a tipping point for our group.
Curious, for a pitcher like Sammy, who's had the success that she's had here, how do you respond from a game where you give up 6 earned runs?
Well, if you weren't there and you didn't see it on TV, it wasn't her fault. She was getting called. She got called for like 13 illegal pitches in a row. Like, you can't defend that. Yes, we understand what was being called. How it was being called was another thing. And Sammy tried everything she could to make the adjustments, and you just can't. You just can't defend that. So we're going to work on some other ways to maybe handle it in the future if it happens again. But it was one of those games you just shake your head at. But yeah, she didn't even get a chance to compete.
Ever seen something like that before?
I have, but not in that way or why she was getting called. It kind of goes back to the leaping aspect of pitching, where like that used to be illegal up until this year, and now it's legal again, and it really hasn't affected anybody in a positive way, because it's not really an advantage, and what she was doing was also really not an advantage. So it's kind of being nitpicky with the rule, but
You mentioned
unfortunate.
You mentioned getting the win over Auburn's pitcher, but for Anna in her first complete game at the collegiate level to get a win over a ranked team, third time I think it was a ranked win for you guys. What does that say about her and what she's been able to do this offseason and into this year?
Yeah, well, we've seen her improve and develop. I don't know that she believed where she was at yet, so that was a good experience for her to be able to say, yeah, to see that she's gotten better. But she also, that was impressive. That game was impressive, but I think even more impressive was her game against South Alabama, where she didn't strike out one kid and really just shut them down. I think that's where you see a pitcher really be at their best, is when they're not dominating so much that the other team can't hit them, but it's when they can hit them, but they can't hit them well. And she did a great job in that game as well. So, yeah, I think that's just going to help her grow.
Having seen that the first RPI rankings of the season are out today, one, how is it after the stretch you played to be coming in just outside of the top 50 at 55, but also along the way to be as battle-tested as you've been and so far come away with quality wins, including Auburn, but also South Alabama would rank as a top 50 win for RPI as well?
Yeah, we still have plenty of opportunities in front of us to improve that, but that was our hope going into this, is that we put ourselves in a position to be in the range that we're at, and also still continue to have opportunities. It's great. It's been fantastic. I think the payoff we still haven't seen yet. I think the payoff will come when we get into our league, and as long as our team continues to have the mindset of playing the game the right way and not worrying about who they're playing, and we can still play at the level that we've been pushed at consistently the last 2 weeks and going into this week as well. That's where the true payoff of the schedule will help. But it's nice to see what we've done so far put us in that range where we want to be. Thank you.